Hello everyone. Uh, Today, in the last section, we have seen lambdas, which is a one-line function. So what we have is if we have a relation like say I have f, right, equal to say x squared plus x plus 1, for example, we know that um, we can write it as a lambda, as a single line function, as lambda in x. I can put this whole thing here and now get a function, but we also, to use that, we put a variable name. So now I can say f of 2 or f of 3, or I can calculate for different x. So there's a one-to-one correspondence between x and f. So it's a one-line function. Now, at the moment, as the main thing here is that it's a one-line function. So one line. So let us go back to one of the things that we wrote in the very beginning. So we have this, right? Basically, when you run, you get this. Suppose if I want to print it, do this 2 times, how we do it, right? So I can do, say, I can do right, and I can do that. Not bad, not bad. I mean, I printed it 2 times. If I want 3 times, I can do 3 times. But if I want 4 times, I can do it 4 times. Not I mean, it's okay. But is there any other way to do it? So we have a trick again, the idea of functions, but at the moment we have not one line. So as such, the lambda is not directly useful for this purpose. So how do we do it? So we can say def, right? It's a definition. Right. So now we are so maybe let me copy into function, right? Yeah. So I take this. So what I do, I use the keyword definition or definition of a function, and I put a name. What do you want? Maybe it's print. Maybe print. This is our logo or something, and I put an empty parenthesis. And now these are all, remember, if you have block of statement, if you want to tell it is under something, we need to put a tab, we need to have an indentation. This is the idea of indentation. We have seen it in if statement. So this is what we do. So it's very simple. I did a keyword here. We have a definition of the function. The name is print logo. There's an empty parenthesis. It looks like a function, but nothing is inside, and a colon. So now we put all the things that we want underneath that. How do we use it? Very straightforward. I just say name of the function, print, right? Print logo and empty parenthesis. Save it, and I run it. So I got that, right? I want it 2 times. What I can do, right? I can do one more time. If I want one more time, right? Okay, 3 times. And now you already learned things like, we don't have to do like this, right? If you want to do something more than one time, you know loops, right? While say if you want I equal to 0, if you want, right, I less than 5, right, I plus equal to 1, and I can push this. So now it has printed, like, as many times as we want. You can adjust the value of I and print as many times as we want. So the main point is that if there's a repeated block of thing, there's a block of statement which we want to execute maybe at different points. This may be a complex calculations in your piece, in your code, and I need to keep on writing it. So I can use functions and to accomplish that. So very simple definition keyword, the name, which you can say any Python variable name, parentheses and a colon, and you end the block of statement. It has to be indented as usual, and then we can just call it by this. So this part is, so we have two parts, right? So this is we are calling a function, basically how to use it, right? And this part, is what? Definition of function, right? So that is the idea. So now there's one thing, right? This is not as we have seen like a lambda, there's a one-to-one correspondence, right? I give something and I get something out. This is doing some task at the moment, which is okay. So what is happening here? What's happening here? So we have a definition, we have a function, we say say parentheses, colon, and number of lines, right? So this is a task, whatever task, maybe some calculation, we are performing a certain task. So it is doing something. Every time I call a function, it does this thing, and again if I call it again, but we know that when we seen previously, when you define a function, say we have an x, I am relating that f to that function x, means for a given value of x, f of x give me something out, right? So I give x here, I give x into the function, and it gives me out y, right? So this is at the moment not quite in that form. To make it that form, you can see that this parenthesis empty. The way we do is, so I can write this as definition func, and I give, say for example, I give say anything, say height h, right? And then I ask if I want to say classify, I do some calculation. If height is greater than this, do this. If height is less than this, do this. I can do again a task depending on a value of h. However, you could use h in the way that you want and do some calculation again. So what we did, something. So h is the argument to the function. So how do we call this? We'll call this on the side, right? funct, say I can put maybe 100. If it is string, I'll give a string. So this is value in, right? It is coming in. I mean, we are going into the function. It is in. Now again, we are not getting anything out. It is the performing something. To make it into more in a function, what we do? So we have def funct. So at the moment there's an edge, right? I say I can calculate, maybe I want to double h, right? So I say d equal to h times 2. So now I can say the way I give out value is something called return. I return, say d. So we say h is coming in, right? And d, the return, the d is going out. This is coming out. So how do I use it? I can say output values, any variable name equal to func. I can put 20. So 20 is now coming in. As per this, we'll get something out, which will be what? 20 times 2, which is 40. And when I print out, I'll get 40. So this is the idea. So in terms of writing code, it is much more easier. But this is the layout. So let's go to our IPython. So let us say I have to check a number is even or odd, and just say it's even. So how do I do? I have, say I take, say y, right? Y equal to, say 100. So to check that, I will say if y, right? That can be modulus y modulus 2 equal to 0. I can initialize a variable. We want out equal to true, Boolean. I created a variable, and now the next line else, right? Out equal to false, right? So now if I print out, it is what? It says true, because 100 is true. So now if I want to if I can keep on copying and pasting it here, but if I want to do it as a function, how do we do it? I take that, right? I can put a definition, and I say this is even. If I want, I can say y is my coming to, and I need a tab, right? And I need to say, to get it out, I say return out, right? So again, once again, definition, name of the function, parentheses, y is something which is coming from outside into the function, and this is the definition, 3 statements here. So if this is that, it's output, we created a variable or output true, and return the value of out. So how do I call it? I can say output equal to, say, any variable, even is the name of the function, I pass whatever I want, 22, right? And I can say what is the value of output. So it is true, it means it 22 is since it's an IPython, it will echo us the value. I can say 15 is false, or if you are inside a script, you may have to do this. Okay, print even, so you may have to do that. So this is the idea of a function in Python. So very simple. So using this, so it's there's a definition, we have to indent it, the name of the function and the y, and you need to supply the argument, which is the coming in value to the function. And if you have something to return, you can return that value, will come out. And the way you use it, the calling syntax is this one, the way how you call your function. and you can use output and do whatever calculate. I can say output times, you know, output. So like, what is output? Oh, sorry, output is a boolean. So what we can use, I mean, if, you know, output, you can do, you know, do some print, print, you know, yes, something like it. You can convert into a string. So so we can use that variable which is coming and do further processing or pass into another function to do further thing. And so the point is we can use function and repeatedly we can use a function and use the same piece of code at different places in our code. And so we don't have to rewrite the whole piece of code, so we can reuse the same piece of code. So it will help us, it will increase the readability, it's easy to find errors. If we want to have some problem, we can only go and check in that function what's happening, what is going wrong, rather than checking 100 different places and checking for typo for different places. Okay, so that's for this discussion, and I believe it was easy to follow. Thank you.